Today we're going to be talking about another tragic story with very bizarre headlines coming out of it. At the center of it is a custody battle gone very wrong. Today we're going to be talking about the case of Veronica and Jillian. Hello Sofa Squad and welcome back to the sofa. Sofa's back there behind me with Mr. Roscoe on it. My name's Paul, I'm sitting in front of it. Now like I said, today we're going to be talking about a very recent, very current case and a very tragic case. Now this is all unfolding, so what we're going to be doing today is specifically focusing in on one aspect of it, and it's the affidavit that came out talking about exactly what went down basically. Now what we'll do before we get to that is we'll kind of do like our little overview. I usually say a 60-second overview, but this will be a little bit more in-depth. But we won't go too in-depth with the pre-in-depth because the affidavit will explain it all. So, that being said, if you do want to follow Roscoe and I outside of the tubes, we're on the Instagram is on the screen. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the key players in this, what happened allegedly, and then get into the affidavit. So the two victims in this case is Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Now the two of them were traveling in a car, and let's talk about what they were doing and why they were in the car. So Veronica Butler and her husband Wrangler Cole Rickman went through a really bad divorce, and at the center of that bad divorce was a really nasty custody battle. So he had been ordered to complete 6 months of inpatient drug alcohol rehab. He had apparently come out of incarceration over something to do with a firearm and felony, that type thing. So Veronica's ultimate goal was to get full custody of the children. There's two children in this case, in this custody battle. So March 30th, Veronica and Jillian, they're traveling together now. They're going to go pick the kids up. This is in relation for a party. So the kids have been living with their paternal grandmother, okay, so the husband's mother. Kelly, who was riding with Veronica, Jillian Kelly, she was more of like an acquaintance than a friend, okay? She was one of 4 people listed as supervisors that could be like a supervised visit person for Veronica and her children. We'll get more into that when we get into the affidavit, but just for now, that's all you need to know. So she was a pastor's wife, and she, again, was said to supervise Butler's visitations with the children. So she's going along here. So essentially what I'm getting at with this is, keep in mind as we move forward, is she is literally a innocent bystander. Now, everybody is an innocent bystander in this, but she is not involved in the situation like that. You know what I'm saying? She's not family. She's not friends. Like, she's going to do this duty. Now, here's where things get a little bit more like, okay, we're piecing the puzzle together. So just like a little bit over a week before this, on March 20th, Veronica had filed or like petitioned the court for this paperwork to get more time with the kids. And again, eventually what she's wanting is full-time custody. The kids, like I said, have been living with the grandmother, and she is at the center of this, and you'll learn more when we talk about it in a second. She's behind bars now too. So what I want to do now is let's kind of get into the gist of the timeline of what took place, and we're going to do it by looking at some articles. Again, this is just to get us all on the same page, and then we'll go over that affidavit. So let's put this up on the screen and review this very quickly. You'll see here it says they made the 45-minute drive from Hugoton to a gas station in Eva, located near the Four Corners section of Oklahoma, but they disappeared, with the car found just 3 miles from where they were supposed to meet. Multiple puddles of blood were found near the vehicle in the desolate Oklahoma Panhandle, which was found 1,000 feet off of Oklahoma State Highway 95 near a school that Butler attended and graduated from in 2015. Now, of course, this is horrible. People at the part, they're like, where are they? They haven't shown up, so they start obviously getting worried and looking and whatnot. Now, this leads to missing persons announcements and whatnot. And now let's look at one of the missing persons posters that went out and just talk about that momentarily. So as you'll see here, it says at risk, missing persons, and you see Veronica, you see Jillian, the clothing they were wearing, the description of them and whatnot. Now if you go down here a little bit, now remember at this point we're looking back with more information now, but it says Veronica and Jillian were traveling together to pick up children. They never made it to the pickup location. Their car was located abandoned on the side of the road. Veronica has several tattoos, a Chinese symbol on her left forearm, a sunflower on her left shoulder. Jillian has a butterfly suicide tattoo on her left forearm. So this is going on. They're missing. People are looking for answers. Obviously, this is not good. It's not adding up. However, answers will begin to come, but they were not the answers that people were hoping or wishing for. Their bodies would soon be found. Let's refer to a couple of articles to go over that. You'll see on the screen where it says bodies of missing Kansas moms ID'd as preacher's wife and pal who are victims of a brutal crime after custody battle. This is by Jesse O'Neill, and it was published on April 15th, 2024. So let's go ahead and move over here. And it says the bodies of the two missing Kansas moms have been found. They were both emmed in an absolutely brutal crime, Oklahoma authorities said Monday. The remains of Veronica Butler, 27, and Jillian Kelly, 39, both from Hugoton, were discovered Sunday in a very rural area near where their abandoned blood-soaked vehicle was found in Texas County, Oklahoma on March 30th. Now, it says according to information released at a press conference. And then it says here, and this is just quoting one of the FBI agents, they say, "I want to express our sincerest condolences to the families," who added that she hoped for the 4 arrests made in the case this past weekend would provide a sense of closure and that the Bureau would be an advocate for Jillian and Veronica. So, there is that. Now, what we're going to do next is let's go ahead and talk about those arrests. Now, Adams was arrested. I'm going to put these pictures up here, but Adams was arrested Saturday along with Tad Burt Cullum, 43 years old, Cole Earl Twombly, 50, and Cora Twombly, 44. The group was all charged with 2 counts of first-degree M, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit M in the first degree. Okay, now what we're going to do is let's just take a look at this crowd, I guess you could call them. You'll just see here it says clockwise from top to left. We have Tad, Cora, Cole Earl, and Tiffany Mackle Adams. And they have been charged in the women's M's. Very nice looking crowd, very interesting looking crowd. I feel like they might have relatives in Pike County, Ohio, but I could be wrong. Let's continue. Okay, now that's very kind of quick overview of the case and whatnot. What we're going to do now is delve deeper, get into the nitty-gritty part of it, and we're going to read the affidavit. So I'm going to read the whole thing. And one thing, just keep in mind the stuff that's going to come out in this, because you're just like, oh my God, to hold the mental picture you have here. Now, first of all, also, this is one thing my brain goes to when I think about this, and I'll probably say it 100 times in this video. Number one, the absolutely senseless loss of life here. These children, look at the situation the children are in now. Number two, the mother and Jillian. Imagine Jillian's last moments here on Earth. And I'm not trying to negate the mothers either, but Jillian being like completely, like not completely removed, because obviously she was the supervisor or whatever. But I mean, she was going along to provide the service and that kind of thing. In those moments of them being probably taken out of the car, I'm sure they absolutely were petrified and could see what was coming down the pipeline. It's like, this is it. This is how I meet my maker. It gives me goosebumps. It frightens me to death to think of it. Now, what I'm going to do is put the little things up on the screen here, and we'll just read through them. So on the screen here, it says Affidavit of Probable Cause for Arrest Warrant. Then at the beginning it states, the undersigned of lawful age being first duly sworn upon oath deposes and states as follows. I am Special Agent Jason Ott of the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. I have been a law enforcement officer in the states of Kansas and Oklahoma for approximately 27 years and served in the capacity of an investigator for over 20 years. I have read and prepared certain official investigative reports and statements of witnesses regarding the above-named defendant, and from those statements and reports, it appears as follows. So here we go. On Saturday, March 30th, 2024, the Texas County Sheriff's Office requested Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, OSBI, investigative services with the suspicious disappearance of Veronica Butler, 27, and Jillian Kelly, 39, from rural Texas County after their vehicle was found abandoned near Highway 95 and Road L, south of Elkhart, Kansas. Butler and Kelly were traveling to Oklahoma from Hugoton, Kansas. Interviews were conducted related to their disappearance, and it was discovered that Butler was in a problematic custody battle with Tiffany Adams for the custody of Butler's 2 children. So this is the grandmother that we talked about. The father of those children was Wrangler Rickman, Adams' son. Butler's visitation with her children was court-ordered to be supervised every Saturday. Adams had a particular person she preferred to supervise those visitations, and that was Cheryl Brune. The court ordered Adams to pay Brune to supervise visits if that was who she wanted to be present. Otherwise, Butler was to choose and pay for the person to supervise. Adams said Brune was unavailable to supervise the visitation on March 30th, 2024, so Butler was required to arrange the supervision with one of her 3 approved individuals. Butler contacted Kelly of Hugoton, Kansas, and planned to have her supervise the visit. So this is what I'm talking. Pause for 1 second. When you sit here and think about her last moments and all the things that could have, should have, would have happened, and the randomness of this event here caused this to happen where she ended up going with her. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Butler told family members she was going to pick her children up from Adams at 1000 hours at Four Corners, intersection of Highway 95 and US 64 West, a location in Texas County, Oklahoma. Butler and Kelly left Hugoton, Kansas, and traveled to Highway 95 and Rodell, about 5 miles north of Four Corners. Butler and Kelly arrived at that location at approximately 0940 hours. Butler planned to bring her daughter to a birthday party, but after they did not arrive, the family began looking for Butler. Melissa and Joey Padilla, who are Butler's family members, located Butler's abandoned vehicle just west of the intersection of Highway 95 and Rodell. The Padillas then contacted law enforcement at 12:09 hours. An examination of the vehicle and areas surrounding the vehicle found evidence of a severe injury. Blood was found on the roadway and edge of the roadway. Butler's glasses were also found in the roadway south of the vehicle near a broken hammer. A pistol magazine was found inside Kelly's purse at the scene, but no pistol was found. Adams told OSBI that on Friday night, March 29, 2024, Rickman and Butler's children stayed the night with Barrett and Lacey Cook. Adams said she planned to pick them up that morning before visitation. Adams said she called Butler at 0900 hours to confirm the meeting, and Butler told Adams something came up and she was not going to make it. Butler's phone records confirmed the call occurred. However, at the time of the call, Butler was in Hugoton, Kansas, in the process of picking Kelly up to go meet Adams. Adams stated she was home at the time that Butler and Kelly went missing. Adams picked the children up before 1200 hours from the Cook's residence. OSBI interviewed Brune, and she said that she was available to supervise the visit that day, but Adams told her to take a couple of weeks off from the visitation so Adams could question the children related to how Butler's approved visitation supervisors were. Butler and Kelly's phone records indicated their devices were actively sending signals to their carriers until approximately 0942 hours, after which the devices were no longer seen by the networks and stopped transmitting. Neither phone was found at the scene or within the vehicle, and they are currently missing. Adams was the last known person to communicate with Butler and was scheduled to meet Butler and Kelly for visitation at 1000 hours on March 30th, 2024. So again, just pausing for a second, you see how the stories don't collide, and that's one thing that blows my mind is they're willing, and when I say they, I mean like these defendants, these alleged people who do these heinous acts against others, and it's like, oh, well, I'll just make this lie up and say this. It easily is found out, right? It's like, we just called the person. Well, no, they told me not to come. I'm just like, did you not do your homework on this? Granted, of course, we're glad they didn't because it helps justice come to the surface, but it just seems so sloppy. It seems like such an obvious thing. So let's continue. Through the child custody case, recordings were obtained where Rickman discussed D threats by Adams and Adams' boyfriend, Tad Cullum. The custody battle began in February of 2019 with many hearings and court appearances. On March 18, 2024, and March 20, 2024, motions were filed requesting extended visitation for Butler. A hearing was scheduled to occur on April 17, 2024. Depending on when you're watching that if this goes as properly, this today. So Butler's attorney informed OSBI that Butler was likely to receive unsupervised visitation with her children at that hearing. So pause, that this went over. It did not go over well, okay? Control is being lost. They did not like this clearly. So let's continue. At times, Adams refused to let Rickman have his children. Even though Rickman had legal custody of them, law enforcement previously responded to a call for service where Adams refused to give Rickman his children. Reportedly, the officer told Rickman he believed the children were better off in Adams' care. Rickman's grandmother, Debbie Knox Davis, reported that in mid to late February 2024, Rickman told her they didn't have to worry about the custody battle much longer because Adams had it under control. That Adams knew the path the judge walked to work, and we will take out Veronica at drop-off. Rickman was confirmed to be in a rehabilitation facility in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, at the time of the disappearance. The children remained in the custody of Adams. Rickman denied having the conversation with Knox. On April 1st, 2024, OSBI agents obtained a search warrant for Adams' cellular phone. OSBI agents performed an extraction on the device. Information gained from the device included web searches for taser pain level, gun shops, prepaid cellular phones, and how to get someone out of their house. Again, it's like they took a page out of Pike County. It is insane to me the amount of work and energy that these horrifying families will put into destroying other people's lives, and the very children that they're fighting over destroying their lives too. Because look at these children. These children don't have any parents now, right? I mean, obviously the situation with the father, but I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, how well do you think that's going to go over? It baffles my mind. It's absolutely senseless. So on April 3rd, 2024, OSBI interviewed CW, age 16 years. CW is the daughter of Cora and Kobe White. Cora is married to Cole Twombly. CW stated that she had overheard group conversations related to Butler not protecting her children from her brother. All of this was in reference to an SA allegation. CW advised that she was told by Cora that Adams, Colum, Cora, Cole, and Paul Grice were involved in the deaths of Butler and Kelly. She stated that Adams had provided burner phones to use so they could communicate without using their personal devices. CW saw 2 burner phones charging on Cora's nightstand in her bedroom. I mean, look at how involved and plotted out this is. And again, this is so similar to many other cases that we've heard about this, or similar things like this, where these allegations are made of, you know, SA and things like that, and we're trying to protect the children because of this, that, and the other, right? So let's continue. CW described Cora, Cole, Adams, Colum, Paul Grice as being part of an anti-government group that had a religious affiliation. Through OSBI investigation, it was learned that they call their group God's Misfits. Regular meetings are held weekly at Twombly's and the home of Barrett and Lacey Cook. CW was told on March 29, 2024, that Cora and Cole would not be home in the morning when she woke and were going to be on a mission. It's always a mission, right? When CW awoke at approximately 1000 hours, Cora and Cole were not home, but came home around 1200 hours. CW knew that Cole and Cora took a blue and gray Chevrolet pickup owned by them and a blue flatbed pickup owned by Clint Twombly when they left and returned in the same vehicles. CW was told to clean the interior of the Chevrolet pickup. Look at, they're involving a 16-year-old now. CW asked Cora what happened and was told that things did not go as planned, but that they would not have to worry about her, Butler, again. CW was told that Cora and Cole blocked the road to stop Butler and Kelly and divert them to where Adams, Colum, and Grice were. CW asked about Kelly and why she had to die and was told by Cora that she wasn't innocent either, as she had supported Butler. So remember, Butler, like, it was her person to come supervise. Adams had her person but told her to stay home, but then said she couldn't. So let's keep going. CW asked Cora if their bodies were put in a well, and Cora replied something like that. CW also disclosed that other attempts to take out Butler occurred during February of 2024 near Hugoton, Kansas, in which Adams, Colum, Cole, Cora, and Grice went to Hugoton, but Butler did not leave her residence. This is consistent with the web search discovered on Adams' phone about how to get someone out of their house. Remember that? It spoke of it earlier. According to Cora, the plan was to throw an anvil through Butler's windshield while driving, making it look like an accident because anvils regularly fall off of work vehicles. Oh my god, y'all, I cannot with this. I'm sorry, sipping from the cup on this. She didn't stand a chance against his family, y'all. God knows. They were going to get her one way or the other. Okay, let's continue. While in Carrick, Texas, interviewing CW and her brother, Cora and Cole arrived and tried to get access to CW and her brother. Cora was verbally aggressive and was very upset with your affiant that she was not granted access to CW and her brother. Cole exited the vehicle armed with a handgun and a holster Cole exited the vehicle with a handgun and a holster on his belt. OSBI investigations showed that Adams searched for gun shops on her cellular phone. A search of local gun shops showed Adams buying 5 stun guns at the Big R store in Gummon, Oklahoma. The purchase was made on March 23, 2024. I mean, they were arming up. OSBI investigations showed that Adams purchased 3 prepaid cellular phones from Walmart and Gummon, Oklahoma on February 13th, 2024. Okay, just pause. If you follow us over here or any true crime thing and they get into the details of this, it is so common. Walmart goes hand in hand with these stories, y'all. It's like they are the supplier of all things true crime, right? Never ceases to film me. There will be Walmart footage, 100%, right? Let's keep going. The phones were identified by phone numbers, and it lists off the phone numbers there. Search warrants for information related to location services and phone usage were completed for each device. It was learned that all 3 phones were at the area where Butler's car was located, and the last known location of Butler and Kelly at the time of their disappearance. All 3 phones were powered on and access the cellular network for the first time at or near Coleman's residence at different times. Prior to March 30th, 2024, on March 30th, 2024, and then phone numbers that list a few before Butler and Kelly's disappearance were at the Twombly's residence. Prior to going to or near Coleman's residence, Butler and Kelly's disappearance at 10:05 and 10:16 hours, phone numbers, fills them in, were in the area or near Coleman's residence. So here's the thing, a burner phone's all cute and dandy until they know that you have the phone, right? And in this situation, it's like you went and got a burner phone at Walmart. What they do, put on a credit card too, or worse, a debit card. I mean, it's just, again, this stuff writes itself, right? But again, we're thankful because it helps justice come forth. However, I'm not sure. Maybe Walmart works for the police. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. You would think it would only make sense, right? Because people seem to think that they don't have cameras there or receipts or any of this stuff, and they can just blindly track these phones now where they were. They were all up at the scenes, right? Because that's what they were used for. Cannot roll my eyes hard enough. Okay, let's finish this out. So after Butler and Kelly's disappearance on March 30th, 2024, between 10:16 and 10:35 hours, it was determined that phone numbers so-and-so and so-and-so were at a property owned by Jamie Beasley below a dam in the pasture where fresh dirt was located by your affiant. Oh my God. Concrete was moved from a location near Beasley's residence approximately 150 to 200 yards below the dam, where it was discovered that a hole had been dug and filled back in and then covered with hay. The location where Butler and Kelly disappeared from and where Butler's vehicle was located is approximately 8.5 miles away from the location below the dam on Beasley's property, giving drive time from the location of where Butler's vehicle was located to Beasley's property, well within the 34 minutes between the time of Butler and Keeley's phone stopping, transmission, and prepaid phone numbers, it fills them in, arriving at the dam on Beasley's property. All prepaid phones stopped transmitting on the morning of March 30th, 2024 at locations near Twombly's residence and Beasley's property. Wherefore, affiant prays this court to issue a warrant for the arrest of the within-named defendant, that he or she may be brought before a magistrate and held to answer for the offenses of, and it lists them off, M in the first degree, kidnapping, and conspiracy. Y'all, I mean, I don't know what to say, okay? This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. I mean, I'm just like, those poor children. Thank God the kids are okay, right? Again, my first thought, what were they thinking? What were they thinking? I mean, I thought the same thing with the Pike County thing. And I keep referring, I'm talking about the Pike County situation. Custody battle plays out. I mean, I don't think thinking's involved. I think it's just pure entitlement and pure adrenaline. They thought that they could do this, you know, go kind of like the good old boy system. We'll take him so-and-so and put the bodies here and do the pre-phones here. You know, this, that, and the other. Thought they were being all secretive. Googling it, all up on it. That's the thing that blows my mind about this type of stuff. You know, you heard they were part of this group or whatever. Now, I'm not sure. I'm not trying to get into that, but I would assume anti-government, all this. All up on the phones, Googling, telling on themselves, right? It's the hypocrisy for me, okay? Just like, come on. And I guess, I mean, in this day and age, how else are you going to research how to do something like this but from the comfort of your sofa and phone, right? But then when it all comes down, it makes it so obvious. And again, it's completely senseless. I mean, there's no reason for either of them to lose their lives. I mean, this one woman was just coming to be the supervisor person. Of course, the grandmother's going to sit here and be like, or all of them are going to be like, oh, she was, you know, she was there too. She supported her. I mean, you can just look at this family, right? And now I'm not know much about the victim or her family, and I'm not trying to say right, wrong, or indifferent, but we can just look at the snapshot that we've seen of the defendants, and it's like, yeah, these children don't need to be anywhere near her. Remember this. These kids were living with her. Okay, this grandmother. That's absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane to me. And then look at what they're capable of. I mean, this, right? This completely contrived thing. And how bizarre. The headlines get more devastating, more horrifying, more intentional. Because that's another thing with this. And I'm not trying to say if this was like a spur of the moment, heat of the moment thing, it makes it okay, right? It's the pre-planning for me in this where I'm like, so much work went into it, yet so brainless, you know. And innocent lives are lost. Children are without parents. It's horrible. So anyways, that's it. I just wanted to go over this. So many of you were reaching out to me and talking about this, and I was like, what is this next level thing that's popped off? And just another absolutely senseless tragedy. So let me know what you think in the comment section. If you're still here watching, I do appreciate it. Roscoe says, thank you. He's napping before dinner time. He does ask that you drop some sofas off in that comment section so he and I have a place to sit, talk to you about this case and others. And until we do, we'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. Also, if you're looking for merch, be sure to check out my Teespring store. I'll put that up here. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.